hush fell over the packed courtroom as the bailiff called the session to order. Every eye was fixed on the defendant's 17-year-old Aliyah Johnson, a slender black girl whose dark glasses reflected the stern gaze of the judge. The judge's gavel lay poised above the desk, waiting to descend and seal her fate. Aliyah's heart pounded behind her ribs, louder than the low murmur of the audience. Her chest tightened with dread as the prosecutor rose to read the sentencing recommendation: 10 years probation, community service, and mandatory counseling. Aliyah swallowed hard, her throat scratchy. She'd been charged with vandalism accused of smashing a display window at the local art gallery on the night of June 15th. The evidence seemed straightforward: a footprint matching her shoe tread, glass shards in her bag, and her fingerprint smudged on the broken frame. Everyone said she must have been there, everyone. That is, except Aliyah. She was blind, everyone except one person, and now Aliyah rose from her seat, leaning slightly forward on the rail, the rush of her dark curls brushing her shoulders. "Your Honor," she said, voice steady, though her pulse hammered in her ears. "Please, don't read the sentence yet." A murmur rippled through the courtroom. The judge blinked, surprised. The bailiff leaned toward him. "Miss Johnson?" the judge asked, his voice measured. "Do you have something you'd like to?" "Tell the court." "Yes, sir." Aliyah's fingers flexed against the polished wood rail. "I wasn't at the gallery that night." A sharp intake of breath rose from the spectators. The prosecutor's eyebrows shot upward. The judge lowered his gavel. "You have the opportunity to speak before sentencing," he said. "Proceed." Aliyah took a deep breath, summoning every ounce of courage she possessed. "I want to tell you what really happened. I want you to know how I knew what happened, even though I wasn't there." The judge nodded, leaning forward. Aliyah could feel his gaze, even though she could not see it. She imagined the courtroom lights glinting off his robes, the rows of benches behind her packed with onlookers. Her palms were damp, but her voice did not waver. "I lost my sight when I was 7, Aliyah began. "I fell off my bike and crashed into the curb. My eyes were damaged beyond repair. I learned to navigate the world by sound and touch." She paused, recalling the hush of her apartment, the echo of her footsteps on tile floors. "On the night in question, June 15th, I was home with my grandmother. She was feeling unwell, her blood pressure spiked, and she needed her medication. I was the one who gave it to her. Exactly at 7:45 p.m., she took a sip of water I handed her, and then she fell asleep." There was a soft rustle as the gallery's security guard shifted in his seat. The prosecutor frowned. "Do you have proof of this?" he asked. "Yes." Aliyah reached into the folds of her long skirt and withdrew a folded piece of paper. "This is the time-stamped medical log from my grandmother's home health nurse. It shows that Nurse Ramirez was here at 7:25 and again at 8 to check my grandmother's vitals. The nurse's notes confirm that I administered my grandmother's medication at 7:45. She handed the paper to the bailiff, who passed it up to the judge. The judge studied the log, his expression unreadable. "Is this an official document?" he asked. "Yes, sir. It's certified by the county health department. I obtained it this morning." The prosecutor rose, flipping through his own packet of documents. "Miss Johnson, even if we accept that you were at home, the fingerprints on the gallery glass are yours. How do you explain that?" Aliyah drew another breath. "I did touch glass that night. Not at the gallery, but at my home. A decorative glass vase in our foyer. It cracked and shattered when I tripped over my grandmother's walker, an accident caused by my cane slipping on the marble floor. The pieces flew across the entrance. I felt each shard under my fingers as I cleaned them up." The courtroom was silent. Every spectator leaned forward. Aliyah's voice remained calm, precise. "I called my neighbor, Mr. Thompson, to help me. He came at 8 p.m. and took the broken pieces away in a paper bag. My fingerprints are on those shards, not on the gallery window. The prosecutor frowned, consulting his notes. Your fingerprints were found mixed with another set, those belonging to Mr. Kevin Edwards. He admits to being at the scene, but he said you aided him. He says you were the lookout. Aaliyah closed her eyes for a moment, recalling Kevin's mocking tone when he had visited her earlier this week in the holding cell. He's lying. The judge leaned back. Miss Johnson, you are accusing Mr. Edwards of perjury. He admitted it in jail. Aaliyah lifted her chin. He admitted he lied about me in hopes of reducing his own sentence. He targeted me because I'm vulnerable. But he forgot one thing. Blind people learn to recognize voices. I know his voice. I've heard it on the phone, on the walkie-talkie. He used at work. And the voice on the 911 recording? It belongs to him. She paused as the courtroom murmured. The bailiff slid a CD case up to the bench. The judge held it briefly, then turned the court recorder. Play the recording, he ordered. A hush fell as the recording crackled through the courtroom speakers. Kevin Edwards' voice, young and tense, described the break-in. I hit the glass with a brick. Then I saw someone come around the corner. She paused, looked at me, then ran off. Aaliyah's throat tightened as the voice continued. She knocked my hand away when I tried to push her down. She opened her eyes, voice firm. I did run away because it was dark, and I thought someone was attacking me. I ran off my own property, turned a corner, and kept going until I reached my home. The judge held the remote, paused the recording. This voice matches Mr. Edwards, he said, and the description does not fit what I've heard. Aaliyah's grandmother, seated in the gallery section, dabbed her eyes with a tissue. Aaliyah felt tears of relief spring to her. Her voice softened. Your Honor, I ask for justice. I ask that you exonerate me. The judge looked at the prosecutor, whose face was tight. After a long moment, he spoke. In light of this new evidence, the certified medical log, the testimony regarding the vase at Miss Johnson's home, and the 911 recording placing Mr. Edwards as the sole perpetrator, I am withdrawing all charges against Miss Johnson. Court is adjourned. A wave of gasps and hushed exclamations rippled through the courtroom. Aaliyah sank back onto her bench, trembling. Her lawyer moved to her side, whispering congratulations. Aaliyah closed her eyes, a sob catching in her throat. She had won. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed, microphones thrust toward her. As she passed through the double doors, Aaliyah guided herself with her cane, feeling the warmth of the midday sun on her face. She heard flashbulbs pop. Cameras were. She kept walking toward her grandmother's car, where Nurse Ramirez and her lawyer waited. Her grandmother opened the passenger door and took Aaliyah's hand. My brave girl, she whispered. You did it? Aaliyah smiled, tears slipping down her cheeks. We did it, she said. Together. That night, as she lay in bed, Aaliyah thought back to the moments in the courtroom, the judge's steady gaze, the hush before she spoke, the weight of every word. She realized that blindness had sharpened her other senses, forging an inner strength she never knew she possessed. The next morning, the local newspaper ran a front-page story, Blind Teen Exonerated by Her Own Testimony. The headline captured only a fraction of what had happened. The real story was that Aaliyah had faced doubt, prejudice, and fear, and had triumphed through patience, preparation, and truth. Over the following weeks, Aaliyah was invited to share her story at schools, community centers, even at a conference for criminal justice reform. She spoke about access, about how blind people navigate a sighted world, about the importance of listening before judging. Her voice, once hesitant, now carried confidence. One afternoon, a reporter asked her how she felt when the judge asked her to speak. Aliyah paused, then said, "I was terrified, but I remembered something my grandmother always told me. Your voice is your truth. Speak it clearly, and people will listen." Her words resonated far beyond the courtroom. Donations poured in too. Support legal assistance for people with disabilities. The gallery whose window had been smashed offered to sponsor a youth art program. Kevin Edwards, now convicted of the crime, faced a longer sentence after his false testimony came to light. Aliyah visited her grandmother's home every morning before school, helping with breakfast, checking her grandmother's blood pressure. The vase in the foyer was gone, replaced by a sturdy wooden table. Aliyah smiled each time she passed it, remembering the night she'd felt the glass shards beneath her fingers, and how that memory had saved her from an unjust sentence. Months later, at her high school graduation, Aliyah delivered the valedictory address. She spoke a vision of seeing with more than eyes, of perceiving the world through empathy, resilience, and courage. As her classmates applauded, Aliyah stood tall at the podium, her dark glasses gleaming under the stage lights. And when she finished, the hall erupted in cheers. Aliyah stepped down, her heart full, ready to face whatever came next, because she had learned the most important lesson of all, that truth, spoken boldly, can change even the severest of verdicts.